rare and balanced view on politics in today's world. Based on facts, born of rationality, common sense, and logic, providing context on today's events. This is American Perspective with Rick Thomas.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to American Perspective. Ooh, doggy. And I do mean doggy. Holy crap, the dog blew one in the freaking studio. Wow. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Ooh-wee. I'm going to tell you, there's nothing, in my opinion, there really is nothing worse than a dog fart. I'm sorry. It just, oh my gosh. Some of these, you know, they make your mouth, they make your eyes water. Oh, oof. Oof. The poor puppy. Yeah, he is getting older. So, you know, I mean, us older folks, we tend to. Oh my gosh. It's somebody blow the air freshener in the studio, please. Damn. Okay. Anyway, all right, let's go ahead and get things kicked off. What a way to start the show. Let's go ahead and get things kicked off here in tonight's wow. The gas is killing me. All right, tonight's Pledge of Allegiance is by Kat Pekarik. That's right. Kat Pekarik is up for tonight's Pledge of Allegiance. So if you are of mine, please stand. Remove your hats if you're wearing one, like me. Place your hand over your heart and follow along with Kat as she recites the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This land is your land, America the beautiful. God bless America.
That's right. God bless America, and thank you for that wonderful rendition of the pledge there, Kat. If you would like to hear your rendition of the pledge played here on the program, all you need to do is record yourself performing the pledge or reciting the pledge in your style. Take that audio file, video file, whatever kind of file, and attach it to an email. Send it off to me. Send it to fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. That's fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. And I will get you into the rotation. I'm looking for number 21. Number 21. I need number 21. So send it off to me. Send it on in. All right. Oh, and if you do it on your phone, too, I hear from a very reliable source. Oh, no, Bonnie. No, nothing is worse than that, unless it's actually for real. Bonnie asks, because I was talking about the dog... the dog blowing one in the studio here. Bonnie asks if it's worse than the gas chamber, and what she's referring to is the military CS gas training. And yeah, believe me, that stuff, man, that is so potent. I mean, your nose is slobbering, you're puking. I mean, it's just, yeah, no, it's not even close. Anyway, moving on here. I have it under good authority that if you do it on your phone, you can hit the share button, to share it out to me, and you can share it to fans, F-A-N-S, at AmericanPerspective.online. All right, tonight's headline sponsor. I'm wearing one of their fabulous shirts. They're fabulous, fantastic shirts. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting little deal until I can get this flipped over. There we go. There were multiples of me on the screen. Anyway. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes, the wonderful headline sponsor, theflagshirt.com. I'm wearing one of their fantastic patriotic shirts. I love the men's cotton polos. and I wear them many, many times on the program. I won't say all the time because that would be a drastic overemphasis. But I do wear a lot of their shirts, and you should go and check them out. Check them out at theflagshirt.com. That's theflagshirt, all one word, .com. And right now they have patriotic styles on for fall, and you can go and check out all those patriotic styles. They've got 3/4 zip pullovers, hoodies, all kinds of stuff for fantastically in the red, white, and blue. And you can go and check that out by heading off to theflagshirt.com. Check out all their men's, women's, made in the USA, kids, accessories, their red, white, and blue accessories. Look at this couples photo right here, the fall bestsellers. I'm making it move so you can see, but that's a couples thing, man. Maybe I ought to get, I might want to get those and see if me and Mrs. Whiskey can rock those shirts. Anyway. Head on over to theflagshirt.com and go and check out all their styles. And if you order $75 or more of their product, they will give you free shipping, just like always. So $75 or more, and you will get free shipping, all the time. But I know not everybody can do that. Not everybody wants to spend $75 or more, and so I'm going to help you out. If you go to flagshirt.americanperspective.online, that's flagshirt.americanperspective.online. Now, keep in mind, those are not, they don't have spaces in those words, okay? You will be presented with a coupon code that you can copy and paste into the checkout box or into the promo code box at checkout at theflagshirt.com. And you'll be able to get $5 off your order on American Perspective. That's flagshirt.americanperspective.online, where you will be presented with a coupon code. Copy and paste that code into the promo code box at checkout at theflagshirt.com. And you'll be receiving $5 off your order at that point. Go to theflagshirt.com and get yourself patriotized. And be like me. All right. Well, folks, people have started receiving November food stamps according to the states. Now, food stamps, keep in mind, are distributed on EBT cards or electronic cards that can be used at grocery stores. So it's kind of an automatic, I guess, fill-in kind of thing. But they've begun receiving the partial or full benefits for November, according to all the states, state officials. Now, partial benefits were distributed today, according to the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services on its website. So beneficiaries should check the balance on their cards. Oregon Department of Human Services said on its website, November SNAP benefits have been loaded onto EBT cards. California officials said that some have received their November benefits, while Wisconsin officials said that all participants received their full benefits. Other states said, and this, of course, was yesterday, that they expected at least some residents on SNAP to receive benefits on November 7th or soon after. And so, yeah. Anyway. Still others said that they are waiting on funds from the government. Now, for those of you that don't know, the judge in Rhode Island ordered the government, the Trump administration, to provide full benefits because, as you recall, even though there was a question regarding the legality of using the emergency funds for SNAP, or regarding the, how they were going to be able to pay it. They were only going to be able to pay partial payments throughout the entirety of November. Well, the Rhode Island judge went ahead and remanded his order and said, hey, you guys need to pay in full. Well, the Trump administration immediately seeks or has sought seeking? I don't know. Anyway, the Trump admin seeks an emergency pause on the judge's order to fully fund SNAP. So the federal judge yesterday ordered the government to pay the approximately $9 billion to fully fund the program in November. The emergency motion was filed with the U.S. Court of Appeals for the First Circuit. And that motion was done, of course, because of the Rhode Island guy directing the USDA to pay the states the money. Now, yeah, whether or not he has the ability to do this, I honestly, I'm just going to tell you. I'm just going to tell you right now, whether or not he has the ability to do this, I don't know. I personally believe he doesn't, because he can't necessarily order the federal government. I mean, he is a federal judge, yes, but he's a lower court judge. So Congress can't necessarily order the president to do something. So therefore, that's why they can't do that. Now, all of that being said, the government, or the administration, the Trump administration, did admit, yeah, okay, fine, we'll bend to your order, but we can't do the full thing, because what we have in the reserves or in the emergency fund is not enough. It's only about half of what we need. So, yeah, they are. This is going to go back and forth, realistically, and I'm going to have to see what's going to happen here in terms of all this. We're going to, obviously it's got to percolate through the court system to get to the SCOTUS, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah. Let's see, what was this? There was the motion that was filed. The government said in the new motion that it cannot spend money that Congress has not authorized it to spend, which basically is what would happen if they were to try and spend additional monies on top of what was already in the contingency fund. Because again, the contingency fund is only half of what is needed. Only about $4.5 billion when you need $9 billion. Anyway, since Congress has not appropriated SNAP funds to cover benefits for the current federal fiscal year that began on October 1st, they can't spend the money. And it continues and says, even after exhausting the entirety of the SNAP contingency reserve, which is a step that the USDA took earlier this week in response to the temporary restraining order issued by the district court, there is only enough money to pay partial SNAP benefits. This is a crisis, to be sure, they say, but it is a crisis occasioned by congressional failure, and that can only be solved by congressional action. Instead, they claim that a single federal district judge is making a mockery of the separation of powers by ordering the USDA to make up for the SNAP shortfall by transferring billions of dollars that were appropriated for different, equally critical food security programs, and to do so within just one business day, i.e. today. So, So anyway, the separation of powers is a congressional doctrine that divides the government into three branches to prevent any single branch from accumulating too much power. Courts are neither allowed to appropriate funds nor to spend them, but are responsible for enforcing the law. The law specifically states that SNAP benefits are subject to currently available appropriations. That's their argument. That's what they were saying, is that, hey, we can't spend something that doesn't exist. So, anyway. So, the motion also continued and said that when there is a shortfall in funding, regulations require USDA to direct the states to reduce benefit payments, which is precisely what the USDA said this week. citing Section 32 of the Agricultural Adjustment Act of 1935, which appropriates revenue for several programs. The district court ordered the USDA to divert billions from the child nutrition programs that fund, among other things, school meals for millions of children, the motion said. If every beneficiary of a mandatory spending program could run to court and force the agency to transfer funds from elsewhere, the results would be an unworkable, and conflicting plethora of injunctions that reduce the federal fisc, I'm assuming fiscatory, to a giant shell game, it said. Yeah. The district court, of course, is assuming that Congress will replenish whatever is borrowed from programs down the road, which is pure speculation, because under the Constitution's appropriations clause, agencies cannot spend money based on wishful thinking, which is true. It has to be specific. This is part of the reason why if you do not spend the money, you can't just give it back. I mean, that's what that seems to be the problem in government spending all the time, is that, yeah, even if I were to go and like lower the cost of something, you know, because I don't know, change the regulation or whatever and save the government millions and millions of dollars, apparently I can't spend that extra money on something else. I can't use it somewhere else. Or for an example, if you have let's say a military program, let's just say it's creating some sort of new weapon and you've put 20 billion toward it. I said billion, but let's just be honest, you know, maybe it is 20 billion. We'll use that anyway. So 20 billion. Okay. And I decide that, hey, we don't need this extra additional weapon. And now they've got 20 billion allocated. Well, you can't just grab that 20 billion and send it off to, I don't know, SNAP. Because of the fact that the way the appropriations work, they're separate buckets. And so they can't just grab money from one and shift it over to another. There has to be a complete revamp of the bills, the appropriations bills that did those. I mean, granted, it's a convoluted and incredibly slow process for all of this, but I just got to say, you know, it's there for a reason. That's the way the rules work. So the judge can't just automatically say, well, you know, you got to take money from over here and put it over there. You got to take money from that spot and put it over there. You just can't do that. The judges, of course, can't do that. So anyway. Whatever. All right, we'll see what happens here. The First Circuit could rule on that federal government motion at any time because it was put in today, so it could come as early as tomorrow. So, anyway. Well, you know as well as I do that there's this wonderful website, because I've used it in the past. There's this wonderful website called Just Facts Daily. And it's a matter, you know, they basically go through and they strip out all of the partisan BS about certain subjects. And in this particular subject that I'm about to talk about has to deal with taxpayer-funded health care for illegal aliens. Well, they say illegal immigrants, but this is illegal aliens. Now, here's part of the truth. So, you know how the left keeps saying, "Oh yeah, no, the illegal aliens, they can't get any stuff. They can't get any health care." Okay? And the right sits there and says, "No, illegal aliens are getting health care. They are gaining benefits." You know? So what this person did what this person did, or this writer, has gone through and pointed out that the federal government, of course, is now partially shut down because Democrats and Republicans are at an impasse over this thing. And Senate Democrats are not going to vote on opening up the government until some of this stuff is remediated, let's say. Well, here's the truth, okay? And, of course, keep in mind that regardless of which bill actually goes in, the Senate rules require, again, the filibuster. They require a 60-vote yay in order to pass. Either bill, doesn't matter, because it's the Senate rules with the filibuster. All right? Now, one of the keys to understanding how Democrats actually funnel welfare to illegal immigrants is explained by a federal appeals court ruling back in 2015 that actually struck down President Obama's attempt to unilaterally place 4 to 5 million illegal aliens above the law. The ruling states that the Attorney General, who is under the authority of the President, has certain powers to deem unauthorized immigrants as, quote, lawfully present in the United States. And although a grant of lawful presence is not an enforceable right to remain in the United States and can be revoked at any time, it removes a certain prohibition against receiving federal public benefits and thereby makes otherwise ineligible persons eligible to qualify for them. Did you catch that? So the Attorney General decides who becomes, quote unquote, lawfully present. And so they could grant somebody a lawfully present status, and because the Obamacare subsidies all say, well, you have to be lawfully present, and this is how these guys kind of work the system here. If they're granted, to gain these benefits, you must be lawfully present in the United States. It can allow illegal aliens to actually get welfare. But of course, it doesn't transform them into legal immigrants either. Another federal court ruling back in 2022 explains that grants of parole, which is what President Biden gave to millions of inadmissible aliens, does not confer any kind of legal status. It said, quote, when an alien is granted parole, immigration authorities temporarily allow the alien to access the country while his or her application for admission is pending, though the alien is explicitly not considered admitted while in this condition. Put it another way, parole creates something of legal fiction. Although a paroled alien is physically allowed to enter the country, the legal status of the alien is the same, as if he or she were still being held at the border, waiting for his or her application for admission to be granted or denied. So in other words, any of those who came in under parole idea are still considered to be sitting at the border legally. See, I mentioned this same status not too long ago. But anyway, in other words, such aliens are not legal immigrants and are only allowed into the U.S. under a legal fiction that pretends that they aren't really in the country. So, there you go. And this is how they work around this. This is how they try to work around this. So, yeah. So, the aliens that are in question on all of this aren't legal immigrants, but are the beneficiaries of executive decisions that grant them temporary reprieve from deportation. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. This is how they work it around. This is how they do it. I'm telling you. The vast bulk of vast bulk of parolees, particularly under Biden, were let into the U.S. by distorting a federal law that allows for temporary entries of inadmissible aliens only on a case-by-case basis for urgent humanitarian measures or significant public benefit. Biden let them in by the millions. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah. So, a Trump White House report pointed out that $91.4 billion by preventing illegal. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. Let me back that up. I'm sorry. So, a Trump White House report alleges that about $195 billion of Democrat demands for reopening the government consists of taxpayer-funded health care benefits for illegal aliens and non-citizens over the next decade. So, by the way, the term non-citizens is broader than illegal immigrant or illegal aliens. In detail, the Democrat bill would repeal, and we've already covered this, the subtitle B of Title VII of the Big Beautiful Bill. So they're trying to repeal all of that stuff. This is all again what they're talking about. So yeah, they're basically playing over the legal status of these aliens who are here in the United States. And this is what they do. They play with the language, they play with the wording, the definitions, etc. This is what they do. And unfortunately, the masses and the mass amount of voters that are out there, that are uninformed voters that are out there, and believe me, there's a lot of them, this is why they get away with it. And this is part of the reason why we can't have good representation. But I'll get into that in just a quick moment. But first, I want to talk about a wonderful partnership that is running along here in terms of Perplexity and Rumble. If you're looking for smarter ways to browse and enjoy your favorite content without any ads, get the Perplexity Pro bundle with Rumble Premium for just $19.99 a month when you sign up before December 31st. Now, this is normally a $29.99 value. With Rumble Premium, you'll get an ad-free viewing experience across all of your devices and access to exclusive premium content with no interruptions. Just the videos and the streams you love anytime, anywhere. Plus, Perplexity Pro boosts your productivity with unlimited research, unlimited uploads, exclusive member perks, and access to the latest and most advanced AI models for faster, smarter answers every day. Save over 30% on this powerful bundle. Head to rumble.com/premium. That / is the question mark key. Rumble.com/premium before December 31st to sign up and unlock your premium experience. Once again, for just $19.99. Let me rephrase that. $19.99 per month. You will get the Perplexity Pro bundle with Rumble Premium by going to rumble.com/premium before December 31st to go ahead and sign up and unlock this fantastic deal. Just $19.99 a month when you sign up before December 31st by going to rumble.com/premium and save over 30% on this powerful bundle. Head to rumble.com/premium before December 31st to sign up and unlock your premium experience and get Perplexity on top of it. All right. Well, you know those man on the street interviews, and I say man on the street because it basically is man on the street, women on the street, doesn't really matter. There was a gentleman who walked around in New York City, and it's a guy, he's a YouTuber by the name of Cam Higbee. Cam Higbee walked around and tried to ask voters, Ma'am Danny supporters in particular, hey, can you just explain what some of his policies are? I mean, why do you like him? So, yeah, let's just say that the results were a little hilarious. So let's head on over there and let's take a listen.
Guys, can I ask you how you feel about Zoran winning?
I'm happy about it.
Why are you happy about it?
I don't know. I don't.
I don't really know. I just do.
Really?
Yeah, because I keep seeing all the like cute TikToks of him like partying and clubbing, and honestly, he's like one for the people, you know?
That's why you support him?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. And there you have it, folks.
No, I mean, I hope that he can get some of the things done that he's saying he's going to
Like
do.
what?
Well, he wants to help people with their rent. He wants to help people with transportation costs.
Who's going to pay for that?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Well, you got, look at this. This is your booth, right?
All right, enough.
Look at this.
Enough. I don't think you're here to have a...
I am. I absolutely am. You're out here selling Zoran merch, and you don't even know what he wants to do.
I just said a couple things that he wants to do.
But you have no idea how it will be implemented.
I know he has ideas about
He
it.
has concepts of a plan, right? Every time. It's like geese to seed. Free food, free buses, free housing. They fall. It's literally geese to a seed. They fall for it every time.
Fucking fire.
Why?
Because it's giving me a little bit more hope of the society that we're moving towards.
Why does it give you hope?
I'm digging myself in a hole, I fear.
What's your favorite Zoran policy?
Probably like making education more reliable and more equitable.
How do we do that?
I don't know.
How do you feel about Zoran Mamdani winning?
Oh, I feel fucking amazing about it. It's such a win
Why?
because we need people like him in office and someone who's under the age of 79.
What's your favorite Zoran policy?
I have no idea. I'm not from New York
Okay. Thank you. I
Okay.
appreciate it. Why do you support him if you're not from New York?
because I support innovative thinking and democracy.
Is it innovative though? We've done it before. It failed every time. Laos, Vietnam, Cuba, China, Russia, Berlin twice, Italy.
I'm an optimist.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good one. What is your favorite thing about Zoran? Favorite policy or your favorite policy?
I mean, the free buses would be a big one. People already take advantage of the fact that you can just hop on the back, so may as well make them free so more people have access to transportation so we can clear up those subways before summer comes again.
How do we pay for that?
That's a politician's question. I'm simply a resident.
Did you vote for Zoran?
I did vote for Zoran.
Well, when you vote for him, you probably want to know how he's going to implement those policies, yeah?
I think it's not just on him, it's on the whole team. So I think once he gets the finance committees and city planning committees in, I think they'll come up with a great plan.
But so far, no plan.
It's the first day of election. I think right now we celebrate and tomorrow we get to work.
Guys, how are we feeling about the Zoran win?
Excited, happy, thrilled.
It's a good time to be a New Yorker. I'm very excited.
Why are you guys excited?
He's for the people. He seems very just like, I'm hoping, at least that he's going to do what he says he's going to do. And it's cool to have an immigrant run as mayor, or be a mayor.
What does he say he's going to do that you hope he does?
Affordable housing, I guess. That's my biggest one right now.
How do we pay for that?
I'm not sure right now.
Yeah. Okay, how about you?
I have nothing to add.
Thank you. I appreciate
I
it.
think Cuomo is kind of an odd guy based on all the stuff I've read about him and seen online. And so, I don't know. I think it's time. Like, New York is full of so many different kinds of people, lots of which are immigrants. And so I think having an immigrant lead the city is like something that's good for just.
Why is that good?
Well, why do you disagree?
No, I'm just wondering why you think it's good.
Well, because I feel like he can talk to people more and understand them more than like someone like Cuomo.
Because he's an immigrant.
Yeah, because he gets it.
Don't you think that people who are actually like from the city would understand the city a little bit better as opposed to an immigrant?
Well, I think the city is made up of people who live here and like of immigrants, and I think like
there are immigrants here, but it's, the majority of New Yorkers are native born New Yorkers.
Well, yeah, but I think a lot of immigrants are also New Yorkers.
Sure, but I fail to understand how that would make him understand New York better because
well, he's also lived in New York for a while.
Sure.
So I would say he is a New Yorker as well.
But I don't think that makes him better equipped than a native New Yorker.
Well,
all right. Obviously, as you can see, this is the problem, folks. This is why we don't get good candidates. Now, I mentioned it last night, and I'll mention it again. If you were to go and ask somebody, hey, who is your representative? Not who's the president, but who is your representative? Who are your state senators? Who is your representative in Congress for your House of Representatives? Who is it? And also go on and say, what about your state representatives? What about your state senators? You got your federal senators and your state senators. What about those? Do you know who they are? Do you have any idea who these people are? The vast majority of people could tell you, maybe, if you're lucky, who the president is. Especially nowadays, pretty much everybody could tell you who the president is because he's loved and hated equally. But these people are they have no freaking clue. If you were to go and ask somebody on any street, just something about, I don't know, a ballot, a proposition, an initiative, if you have any of those, and you ask somebody, hey, what is this proposition that's in there? Tell me about it. What's good? What's bad? Folks, back when I was this is probably like 30 years ago, I was working in a office space. And I walked around and I started talking to some of the people that were running around in the office. It was getting close to the election. And I was kind of curious because I wanted to see how well people understood what was going on. And I would ask, especially the younger voters. I mean, this is back when I was younger. Granted, I was probably, somewhere between 27 and, say, 35. And I was asking these younger voters, I'm like, hey, folks, hey, what do you think about this thing that's on the ballot coming up? You know the common answer that I got? The very first common answer that I got, and I said, wait a minute, you don't know? I go, you're about ready to vote in like 2 days. You don't know anything about these initiatives? Oh, just whatever I happen to see on TV. Oh, you mean those ads that are run by, partisan folks? And then somebody else even had the audacity. They were like, well, I'll just wait until it's time to vote and I'll read the voters pamphlet. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but here in Washington, the voters pamphlets, you're provided, if you even get a statement for and against a ballot initiative, or even if you get a statement from a candidate for office, they are only given a certain amount to talk about. So, of course, they're going to give you their A side. They're going to give you the A side, all of their strengths and none of their weaknesses. You've got to dig into these people's lives, their backgrounds, what they believe in, what they are going to vote for. 90 to 95% of the time, nobody has any idea what these people are even doing. They have no idea where they came from. They have no idea what their plan is or where they're voting. And I'm not saying that you have to go well out of your way, because the other common response that I would get is like, well, I don't have time to investigate all of this stuff. I've said on this program multiple times, folks, the vast majority of people will vote based on one thing and one thing only: name recognition. Why do you think these voters, okay, why do you think these voters are running around and, hell, they do more investigation in what used to be American Idol and voting for them. They do more investigation in that, in entertainment. If you took just a small portion of the effort that these people put in to watching and getting involved in entertainers, watching The Voice, getting involved on The Voice, or I don't even know of any other reality TV show that everybody like, oh my God, watch the Kardashians. Holy crap. You could ask just about any of these young people here. You could ask them about, oh, hey, do you know about, whatever the local, or not the local, but whatever the latest craze is. You could probably ask these two ladies here that are in the image behind. You could probably say, hey, give me 5 facts. 5 facts about, what do you call it? Well, here, let's just say Kim Kardashian. Give me 5 facts about her. And I bet you they could whip out probably more than 5. They might even make it to 10. They could even get to 15. But if you were to ask them, like they did, about Zoran Mamdani, who is a Marxist socialist terrorist sympathizer, they essentially are dumbfounded. I don't know why I like him. I just saw him on an ad and he partied all the time. Yeah. Oh, he says affordable housing. Really? Well, how in the hell is that going to get done? Where do you think money comes from? And that's another thing. These people don't have any idea of where taxes come from. They really don't. They have no clue. They have no clue. Even though they pay it in their taxes, in their check every month. Federal taxes, state taxes, or if they don't pay state taxes, it's a sales tax. They have no idea where this money comes from. None. If you don't have an income tax, okay, if you don't have an income tax, you have a sales tax. That's pretty much how this works. Oh, yeah, it's just a sales tax added on. It's like 8% or whatever. I mean, I don't really care where the money goes. That's your freaking money. You should know where it goes. Come on. People. I'm just saying. Just know where the money goes. I mean, these people, they're just incredibly, incredibly stupid. And that's why we can't have anything. That's why we can't have any great representatives. And if you're lucky enough to stumble into a representative, I mean, let's be honest, none of them are really all that stellar. I mean, the vast majority of them are lawyers or failed lawyers, like what's her name? Yasmin Crockett. Yeah, they're failed lawyers. I failed as a lawyer. I'll go into politics. Why not? I'll use my law degree and go into politics or whatever. Or maybe they didn't get a law degree. They just went to law school and then get into politics. Well, it turns out apparently you don't even pay enough attention to any of these people, okay, to any of these people, because Bangor, Maine. Well, they just voted a convicted killer to City Hall, and I bet not a single one of them even knew about it. Here in Trending Politics, there's a woman who is now on the city council, Angela Walker, she pleaded guilty to manslaughter in the brutal death of in 2002 of a Canadian tourist. And she won a seat on the Bangor City Council last Tuesday. And she did it without even being part of a political party either. Serious, folks. Walker, who, by the way, used to go by the name Angela Humphrey, Walker racked up 2,231 votes. She finished third in a 9-way race. She jumped in, and Democrats Susan Falloon and Daniel Carson also nabbed seats on the council. Apparently, you just vote, and whoever gets picked, like the top 3 people, in this case, all 3 of these people were backed by a food and medicine local progressive nonprofit, according to the Bangor Daily News. But here's the thing. This woman beat to death and suffocated a 47-year-old in Canada, or from Canada. His name was Derek Rogers. And she beat and suffocated him to death on Old Orchard Beach back in 2002 after what prosecutors described as a burst of senseless rage. Walker, who was known as Angela Humphrey back then, pleaded guilty in 2003 to manslaughter and perjury in Rogers' killing, according to Seacoast Online. She was sentenced to 10 years behind bars. Prosecutors said that Rogers encountered Walker, her brother Benjamin, his girlfriend, and a 13-year-old on the beach. After a heated exchange, Walker shoved sand into Rogers' nose and mouth, suffocating him. This person's even so despicable, she tried to pin the crime on her brother and his girlfriend, but investigators caught her lying. Folks, seriously. They put her on the city council. They obviously, nobody bothered to go back in and look at her past. I told you last night, people, that when you go and your local races and your state races are where your votes actually count and weigh more than the national votes in terms of things like the presidency. And realistically, even though your popular vote generally translates to the way the Electoral College is going to go, it doesn't necessarily have to, but many states have the policy that, hey, whatever way the popular vote goes in the state, that's what the Electoral College is going to go. So technically, when you talk to a leftist and they say, oh, the popular vote doesn't pick the presidency, technically, yes, it does. It does within certain states, but not every state does that. The vast majority do. 48 out of the 50 do. But anyway, so, yeah. What a mess. These blue city voters, these blue city morons voted a actual criminal, convicted killer. Yeah. And then you wonder why we can't have nice representatives, ones that actually fight for the people. Because let's just face it, every single representative has 2 jobs in their life. Job number 1, get elected. Job number 2, stay elected. Anything else is a distant third. Those are the only 2 things that any representative voted into the Congress or any other place is deemed for. They're like, hey, this is my job. I don't want to get fired from my job. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna work to get elected. Once I am elected, I'm going to work to stay elected. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Speaker Johnson, of course, has pointed out the actual truth. He has pointed out that the far leftists are the ones, excuse me, far leftists are the ones that have taken over the Democrat Party. Take a look right here. Let's take a listen.
Zoran Mondami is without a doubt the biggest win for socialism in the history of the country, and it is the biggest loss for the American people. He is truly a committed Marxist. And the results of that race tell you everything you need to know about where the Democrats and their party are headed. From the backbench to their leadership, Democrats have fallen in line behind the socialist candidates. Hakeem Jeffries, as you know, is the highest-ranking Democrat in the House. He gave his full blessing to Mondami and his socialist agenda. Chuck Schumer, the highest-ranking Democrat in the Senate and the highest-ranking Jewish leader in America, flirted with endorsing Mondami all the way to the bitter end. Never mind the fact that Zoran has embraced anti-Semitic rhetoric and promised to arrest the Prime Minister of Israel if he visits New York City again. And then there's President Obama, who called Mondami over the weekend to extend his praise and act as a sounding board for the young socialist. You can't make this stuff up. The man who made healthcare unaffordable with his own socialist scheme is advising the man whose false promises will surely make life unlivable for millions of New Yorkers who cannot afford to flee the city.
Folks, this is the truth. What Johnson is talking about is 100% accurate and the truth. People, I'm just saying, this is the direction of the Democrat Party. This is the direction of the Democrat Party. And they all believe that they are right. They all believe that what they are looking to do is destroy capitalism, freedom, individual accountability, responsibility, all of these things. They want to make you a ward of the government. Because in their minds, the government is God. The government is who you should always turn to. Can't remember who it was, but I heard one of the Democrats say, oh yeah, government creates the problems, or government solves the problems that people create. No, they don't. They create more problems and then tell you that they're solving the problem, but they're actually not solving the problem. They're just keeping the problem at bay so that you continue to vote for them. Well, I have a special guest tomorrow. I have a special guest for tomorrow. And I got to tell you, this interview is going to be a very enlightening interview. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to, this is Lisa Ekman. Lisa Ekman. She's a former Democrat operative. And I say former because she found out how to get out. She is an author. Here's the book, Deprogramming Democrats and Uneducating the Elites, How I Escaped the Progressive Cult. Folks, I've been reading this book. I'm not quite done with it. I'm about 3/4 of the way through right now, and I got to tell you, it's amazing how somebody who lived in the inside the cult for 20 years, she advised, she was on advisory boards for president. I believe it was President Clinton, if I recall correctly. She holds obviously she holds a couple of degrees, many degrees, but that isn't the point. She is she's a long-time Democrat supporter. And you'll be amazed at what changed her mind. You'll be amazed at what she started to see when she really started to investigate things that she was being told. That she was being indoctrinated is the best word for it. But I have her for tomorrow night, hopefully if everything works out. But yes, Lisa Ekman. And by the way, if you can go and get her book, Deprogramming Democrats and Uneducating the Elites, if you go to deprogrammingdemocrats.com, that's deprogrammingdemocrats.com, you can buy her book from the publisher. You can get it, and you can also pick it up at Barnes & Noble in an EPUB format. Okay? But go to deprogrammingdemocrats.com and you can look her up and see her basically what the book's about and so on and so forth. But we're going to get into all of this tomorrow night when she comes on for an interview. And I got to tell you, I think it's going to be an awesome interview. So I am excited to do it. I am really excited to do this. So we could, make sure you come back here. And if you can't, make sure that you listen to the replay on either the audio format or, of course, the video format, whether it's X, YouTube, Facebook, or, of course, Rumble. Rumble and YouTube are the ones that hold the videos for a while, so you guys can go and check this out. But absolutely, go and grab this book, Deprogramming Democrats and Uneducating the Elites. You should really grab the book. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about her background, and all of that other stuff on tomorrow. So do not miss this interview. All right. In the final couple minutes left, we have some serious things that have kicked off. For an example, there's been a bunch of grand jury activity heating up in the DOJ's investigation into John Brennan. They have issued some subpoenas for, I believe it's Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, and Brennan himself. And I got to tell you, Brennan is actually running scared. He's running scared. Speaking about running scared, the investigation into Comey, who has already been indicted. Keep in mind, John Brennan has not been indicted yet. James Comey has been indicted. But James Comey's own notes apparently show that he knew that the Russia hoax was a hoax, that it was a Clinton-created smear. And it just makes sense that James Comey, from his own notes, basically says, oh, yeah, I already knew about that. And yet he acted like he did not know that any of this was a smear. So there's a lot of things that are coming down. And I got to tell you, in the next 3 years, the next 3 years are going to be incredibly interesting. Incredibly interesting for all of that. Now, the grand jury also say that they're set to send out even 30 more subpoenas other than the ones that I called out. So in the coming weeks. So stay tuned for all of that. I'm sure we'll cover a lot of this stuff in the upcoming. But again, like I said, make sure you're here for tomorrow night's interview of Lisa Ekman, Deprogramming Democrats and Uneducating the Elite. How she broke free of the woke mind. Well, I'm going to call it the woke mind virus, but that's not what she calls it. But it is definitely the indoctrination, the Borg. She broke free from the Borg. So, yeah. Be sure to come back here tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern time for that interview. Also, don't forget to go to rumble.com. Get yourself an account. Sign up for free. And make sure once you've signed up and signed in, make sure you search up the American Perspective channel and hit that green follow button to get notified every time I go live. Before you take off, don't forget to hit those thumbs up and thumbs downs, and if you're 3 Chevy, thumb sideways across all my platforms, whether it's X, YouTube, Facebook, or, of course, the aforementioned Rumble. And as I said, don't miss tomorrow's episode, 6 p.m. It's an hour later because it's Saturday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, for the Lisa Ekman interview. Be there, or watch the replays also. I mean, do that too. We'll see you tomorrow night, folks. Have a great rest of your evening, and good night, everybody.